Is Florida State's Tommy Castellanos a legitimate Heisman Trophy contender? Absolutely.
You are Locked On Seminoles, your daily podcast on the Florida State Seminoles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back into Locked On Seminoles. I am your host, Brian Smith, longtime college football recruiting analyst. Thank you for making Locked On Seminoles your first listen each and every day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Today, I just want to focus on the Heisman race with Florida State's Tommy Castellanos now joining the fray. I was thinking about it a couple of days ago, and then, you know what? Today, I'm going to look into this. There are currently 9 players with a higher probability of winning the Heisman per the odds than Tommy Castellanos. That's fair because nobody had him really on the board early on. But now, after beating the Tide and after a great performance this past weekend against East Texas A&M, why not Tommy? So I want to break down some of my thoughts about him, a few stats, but more than anything else, his pizzazz, his ability to talk a big game and back it up, and the fact that Florida State is winning. All those things together, if you take nothing else from this podcast, those are the reasons. Tommy said that Bama couldn't handle him. He played very, very well in that game, and he was a prime reason they beat him. He backed it up. The way he plays is flashy, the way he runs, the way he makes guys miss, the way he throws the deep ball, that bomb to Squirrel, and then just the moxie he has in the moment to create big plays, whether it's scrambling for 4 yards and picking up a first down or throwing the bomb to Jalen Lucas, whoever it is, he finds a way to make big plays. The people are going to remember. And voters are impressionable. They're human. Yes, Tommy Castellanos absolutely has a shot to win the Heisman. Now, to that end, I'll share my screen here just to make it fun for those of you that are on YouTube, and I'll go through and read all of these as well for those of you who are not. But this is really not a shocking list, but in a lot of ways, to me, it's still a lot like some of these guys. You know what? They're quite frankly more likely to be guys that I would see on this list from early in the year. Like, I'm not trying to pick on him, but I watched that Texas versus Ohio State game. I'm not buying at all that Arch Manning's winning the Heisman. He looked so out of sorts against Ohio State. He wasn't that accurate. And I know he played better this past weekend against an inferior opponent, but I'm not buying it. So there's guys like him. Then there's Devin Dampier, who's very good at Utah, but is he going to get enough exposure playing in the Big 12 for Utah? I doubt it. We'll see. But anyway, John Mateer leads the list at Oklahoma, plus 800. That's a team that plays a very, very violent schedule. If Oklahoma can somehow win 10 games and keep him healthy, he ran, I think, like 20 times against Michigan. I don't think that's sustainable. I could see him winning it. Carson Beck at Miami, plus 1,000. He had a very good game against Notre Dame, and he destroyed Ball State or whoever it was. No, not Ball State, but another FAMU, I think. He destroyed them. Let's see what he does against Florida State. We're going to talk about that in the second segment, so that's a good segue. Dante Moore is my odds-on favorite. He's plus 1,100. The quarterback at Oregon. I think Oregon right now is playing the best football of anybody in the country. Good luck to Northwestern this weekend as they host the Ducks up on the lake in Chicago. Arch Manning, I already touched on. Gunnar Stockton, no way. There's no way Gunnar Stockton is winning the Heisman. They don't let him throw it enough. That offense is too conservative, and he's not good enough. Lenora Sellers has worse odds than Gunnar Stockton. Come on. If Sellers was at Georgia would be number one. It's not comparable which one is the better player. Having said that, he's going to have to throw it around a lot and make a lot of big plays. So we'll see if he can stay in that race. But South Carolina lost a lot of talent last season. Jeremiah Smith, I totally get it. He's one of my top 5 picks to win the Heisman. He's plus 1,500 for the Buckeyes. I think he's the best pure player in the sport, but he's a receiver. Drew Allar at Penn State, not buying it. He's a very good player, but he's not clutch enough. He's plus 1,600. And then you got all the guys that are plus 2,000, including Tommy Castellanos. DJ Lagway, Sam Levitt, who just lost Arizona State at Mississippi State. You got Thomas Castellanos. You got Jackson Arnold at Auburn. He's an intriguing pick. Julian Sayin, also at Ohio State. I think he's a very good pick. And then Clemson's Cade Klubnik, who's not played that well as well. So outside of like maybe Sellers, maybe Beck, if they do beat Florida State, we'll see. But Dante Moore is my guy, and Jeremiah Smith would be very high up there. I'd have Castellanos somewhere in the top 7. I don't think Florida State's schedule is near as hard as what I originally thought. They could lose one of the Miami or Clemson games, and if they finish strong that last month, go 11-1 or something, he could win it. He could absolutely win it. And why not? The way he's playing and the way it's going, I could absolutely see it happening that way. Now, for those of you that are like, Brian, this is too early to say that, that's what the Heisman is about, man. It's always been about the hype. It's always been about the guys trying to figure out their pecking order with their team, and then the media takes care of the rest. Players don't really do much with it. They got PR staffs and then just national media, local media. I think Tommy, the way he speaks to the media, how polite he is, but yet being brash, all those things, and he's backed it up, will help propel him towards the top. If they beat Miami, I think his odds will be plus 600 to 800 range. I really do. Then that would put the onus on the Clemson game. We'll see. Here are a few of his stats so far this year. 17 to 25, 68%, 389 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. But here's the most important passing stat for Tommy Castellanos of your Florida State Seminoles. Per attempt, 15.6 yards per pass. Not completion, per attempt. That is insane. Those are Heisman numbers because you got to mix it with his rushing. 85 yards and a touchdown. He's going to run more when he plays against opponents they need him to. They'll save it for Miami. They'll save it for Clemson. They'll save it for NC State. They'll save it for Florida. Let's see how he does in those games as well. But Tommy Castellanos, absolutely. He is a Heisman contender. But we also got to talk about that Miami game. What would really propel Tommy? They got Miami on October 4th in Doak Campbell Stadium. Can that be his Heisman moment to like really push him into the forefront? We're going to talk about that next here on Locked on Seminoles. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your career moving forward with SupplyHouse. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the industry. The real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting on projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has you covered on your blind side. If you need parts fast, they can get it to you next day. And if you're not sure exactly what you want, they will have somebody help you with their great customer service. This is a great company. Go through SupplyHouse. Join the free TradeMaster program today and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and dedicated support line. Visit SupplyHouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHCollege5 for 5% off your first order. That's SupplyHouse.com. Real people and real service. This show is also brought to you by Game Time. College football is back. Florida State is back. Tommy Castellanos is back. And all the tailgates, rivalries, and everything else around Noles football. There's nothing quite like it. But let's be real. Getting tickets isn't always the most fun. It could be the biggest battle to getting to the game. Sometimes those hidden fees, the price you see at the beginning, is not necessarily the price you see at the end. That's why you should use Game Time, the app that gives you the advantage to the fan. Now, if you want to look up future games, I'm telling you, coming up, they got game against Pittsburgh. That should be a very fun game. That's a good defense against Florida State's young receivers. They're going to play aggressive. You can get tickets for under $100. All you got to do is go down and get the app out of the Google Play Store or on your iPhone or whatever it is. It only takes a couple of minutes, and you'll be moving around pretty easy on that app. It's very simple. Take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the app and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. Thank you once again for making Locked On Seminoles your first listen each and every day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Talking Tommy Castellanos, jumping into the Heisman race. And to me, the biggest key is always your big rivalry game. Do you stand out during the game that you need to, especially if you've got a home moment? That could be spectacular. How about Tommy making a key play against Miami to give them a chance to win in the fourth quarter? I think it'll be a back and forth game. Most probably think the same. Florida State will host the Canes on October 4th. So we're less than a month away. That defense is much improved this year for the Canes. I will give them that. But are they ready for Florida State's bevy of skill players and Tommy running around? It's a hard offense to prepare for. Here are a few things that I think we will see in that game. There's going to be a few plays that Florida State has not run yet. They will deny that completely, of course, that they're saving for Miami. Again, all coaches lie about this, and I'm good with it. Let's see if Tommy can execute it. It could be a Statue of Liberty. It could be a flea flicker. It could be a reverse toss it back to Tommy, whatever. Something where they get a big throw down the field. Just for the record, Tommy has been really, really good this year at throwing the deep ball. I was looking at the statistics earlier. He's hit 3 shots down the field for over 160 yards and 2 scores. He had the 82-yarder that he put on the money to Deuce, just as an example. He also had the deep shot as well down the field to Deuce. That was really, really good. I think this is going to be one of those games where he's going to need one of those to win, because you're not going to grind out 14-play drives consistently against Miami's defense. They're too good for that. You're going to need Tommy to make some of those runs, extend the play, maybe buy enough time to get his tight end like Landon Thomas or Pittman or somebody open, or maybe he goes up top. That's what I'm waiting for. Secondarily, he also needs to pick up those yards to keep a drive alive, to get another chance to throw the deep ball, to throw a seam to Landon Thomas, maybe Jalen Lucas down the sideline, like he did against the University of Alabama on August 30th. Whatever the case may be, I think the deep ball against the Canes is important. They had another bust in their first game against Notre Dame. Eli Raritan got loose. There was nobody within 20 yards of him, and that helped Notre Dame get back in that game and tie it up. If Miami wants to really slow Castellanos, they're going to have to find a way to drop 7, rush 4, and tackle him. So that's something else. Like with all what I'm saying, with him extending plays, can they contain him with 4? I don't know. And if they blitz, that's going to make it very difficult to handle Deuce Robinson. It's a 6-1 way, half dozen the other scenario to contain Castellanos in this offense run by Gus Malzahn. And finally, it's just between the ears and above the shoulders. Castellanos has shown that he has grown in terms of maturity and making the right play calls. Let me provide an example. Florida State runs a ton of RPO in Gus's offense, as do most teams. Tommy will throw it away. Tommy will run for 3 yards. Tommy will also scoot to the perimeter, really try to make a pass if he can, but if it's not there, he will go ahead and just take it for 3-4 yards. He's okay with that. Younger Tommy would have tried to force the ball down the field, or he just would have tucked it and ran after 1 or 2 reads and been done. He's understanding post-snap now. He's going to have that opportunity. The only real concern that I have is that Miami gets pass pressure, especially 3rd down and long and just obvious passing situations with 4. There's no cure for that at any level of football. If your 5 can't block their 4, it's going to be a problem. Let's see if Miami can do that against Florida State, because if they have to blitz consistently, Tommy might get sacked once or twice, but I can just about guarantee you, based on what he's done so far this year and with Florida State's skill talent, you got Wayne McCoy still coming back. Landon Thomas is not quite healthy. Pittman's coming back. You're going to have Rodell back, and they're already explosive. This is a very, very challenging situation for Miami. They're going to have to really find a way to contain him and show him a bunch of looks, because I don't think they could really contain him with 4, but they're going to have to try to do it anyway. That's going to be a great, great matchup. Thank you once again for making Locked On Seminoles your first listen each and every day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Truly appreciate you stopping in. We're going to have more conversations like this one as we come into more and more games. Who's a Heisman candidate, stat leaders, what Florida State has to do to win games against top opponents. Keep in mind, they got Virginia game, Friday night game. They got the Miami game the week after. They've got other kind of awkward games where emotionally, how much will Florida State be up? Virginia Tech, are they going to be really up for that game? NC State on the road is the week before they play the Gators down in Gainesville. Those kinds of situations, just like this, for Tommy Castellanos, are going to be a lot of fun to cover, not just from a team perspective, but an individual perspective. If Florida State football is back, those kinds of challenges, as we will talk about here on Locked On Seminoles, will be conquered by the Noles. Thank you once again. We will see you again soon here on Locked On Seminoles.